there, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my tirzepatide journey, specifically my first month, what to expect, what the pros and cons were, what I noticed, and maybe save you some of the time and experience that I learned the hard way. So first off, I definitely waffled a lot when it came to deciding whether or not to purchase the medication. I did a lot of research on social media, on the internet, just kind of going back with the pros and cons of taking a weight loss medication versus just trying to do it on my own. And so, me personally, I was born in the 80s, I'm a kid in the 90s, and I think we were subjected to a lot of fad diets, a lot of unhealthy body image. I don't know if you remember, but like in the early 2000s, it was like vogue to be super thin. In the 90s, like people like Jessica Simpson and Drew Barrymore were considered fat when they were like really just like at a healthy BMI. And so throughout my life, I've always fixated on my weight. Since I was about 8 years old, I remember like monitoring my weight, trying to exercise, watch what I eat. My mother is also a dietitian, so I have a background of understanding about nutrition, calories in, calories out, movement, that type of thing. And by the time I was almost hitting 40, I was about 35 pounds overweight, and nothing I was doing was working. I tried so many different things. I cut carbs for a while, no sugar for a while. I did like 1 meal a day type fasting, and all during that I was continuing with my exercise. So Pilates a few times a week, yoga, taking a walk every single day. I bought an Apple Watch so that I could track my steps and get 10,000 steps in a day. But no matter what, it was like that scale was not budging at all. And my theory, I'm not a doctor, but my theory was just my metabolism was completely thrashed, and I think I was insulin resistant and was as well. And so no matter what I was doing, my body was stubbornly stuck at this particular weight, which made me incredibly unhappy. I'll show you some of the before pictures. So I spent a few months just really buckling down, trying to stay in a calorie deficit, eat whole foods, exercise. And after a few solid months of doing that, like very rigidly and seeing no results and sometimes even gaining weight, I thought, I'm going to do something different. I am going to try something different. So I went ahead, took the plunge, chose an online platform, filled out the information, and was approved. And I chose tirzepatide. So that is a compounded medication. And so it's not like the brand name, but it is a compound. So I went ahead, paid the money, had it shipped to me. But then I also went to my regular doctor that I see in person just to see if he thought it would be a good fit for me. So he said that he thought it would, and that maybe we could get my insurance to cover it. So we sent over the information, but unfortunately they were not going to cover the medication through insurance. And so he said I could pay out of pocket for it, which was about $800 to $1,200 per month, depending on which name brand medication I went with. And although I was paying a pricey amount out of pocket, it was not anything near compared to what I would have to pay out of pocket for the name brand medicine. So knowing that he was on board with it and that the telehealth provider thought it would be fine, when I got the medication, I went ahead and took the plunge. And so one of the things I was really frightened about was the first jab and administering the medication. I watched like every YouTube video on how to do it, read the pamphlet 10,000 different times, and in the end, I was really sweating it for nothing. I filled up the little syringe, gave myself the injection below my belly button, pinching my fat, and like literally I was surprised at how much it did not hurt at all. I've literally had mosquito bites that stung more than that when the mosquito was biting me, not the itchy stuff afterwards. Anyway, I didn't have any injection site problems. It was perfectly fine. I felt perfectly fine right after. I tried to stay really hydrated that day, to eat lots of protein that day so that I could kind of give my body a little bit of a boost up, so that if anything, I was kind of prepared with a solid foundation. Went to bed that night, slept pretty good, woke up the next morning, and I noticed that I was sore. Not like just like when I got out of bed, I was like, oh, this hurts. But like I noticed like when I touched myself or something bumped into me, I was like, oh, and it was so weird because it was just my torso and my back. And it wasn't like a muscle soreness. You know how like when you pull a muscle and then when you move it, you can like kind of feel that achiness in there. It was like just a skin sensitivity, just like on the top layer of my skin. Like when I pressed it, I just kind of felt like, ouch, like it was tender. Not excruciating, nothing that prevented me from doing my work day and just moving about my day normally, but it's definitely something that I noticed. That skin sensitivity was gone by the next morning, so it just lasted one day. So the following day after the jab, I noticed that I was a little bit nauseated, and it would really come just in very quick bursts, like 30 seconds, and I'd be like, oh gosh, I don't feel so hot, and then it would pass. I did take Zofran during that time just to kind of get me through, which was really helpful, I found, in just eliminating that symptom completely, and I didn't even feel like that little wave of nausea at all. So the first week I lost 4 pounds, and I think that was due to a lot of the inflammation that I was experiencing, was probably just a lot of water weight. And besides the just coming and going nausea, the other thing I noticed was fatigue. You know, as a busy person, any of you out there who are parents and work full time, I mean, you're just kind of fatigued anyway. Life is just like, you know, is a lot sometimes. And so I noticed the fatigue, but a little bit more than just my average fatigue. I just noticed that I was really, really tired. And one thing is I don't typically sleep very well, but oh my gosh, did I. I would sleep so well, especially that first week. And within the first week, another thing I really noticed was how much the food noise died down. Typically, I am somebody who craves tons of sugar. I have like a bottomless stomach when it comes to sugar. It's something that I like. I can just keep eating it, keep eating it, keep eating it, and hardly feel full at all. And within the first week, that completely died down. I wasn't dreaming and thinking about when I was going to get my next food fix or what I was going to have or what I couldn't have, and feeling that freedom from being fixated on that, because that was something I spent a lot of mental energy on, was so freeing, and I enjoyed that so much. And also within the first week, my knee stopped hurting. My left knee would give me trouble, like walking upstairs or walking uphill. I would kind of like feel a twinge in my knee every now and again, and when that within the first week, it was completely gone. So whatever inflammation that was causing had completely resolved, which was such a relief. So first week, no food noise, lost 4 pounds, probably of a lot of water weight, felt a little nauseous, slept really good, kind of fatigued, and no food noise. Second week, very similar, a little bit less nausea, the fatigue was hitting still. I was during this time just trying to really stay hydrated, really make sure that I was eating my protein or drinking protein in my coffee, and just products that just have a lot of protein in them. And then the second week I lost 2 pounds. Same thing for the third week, similar symptoms. I did develop a little bit of a headache on and off, but I'm somebody who gets chronic headaches anyway, so I don't know if I can attribute that to the medication or if that's just like my normal life that I'm living. I lost another 2 pounds that third week, and the subsequent fourth week, I lost another 2 pounds. So in total for the first month, it was 10 pounds, and I went from not being able to fit into anything in my closet to actually have the things that I have in my closet fit me a little bit better, because they were getting super duper tight. And as far as medication and where I got it from, the first month that I signed up, I was overpaying for it. I was at a provider that charged $500 per month for the medication that was on. But I have since switched to a different provider, and it's Join Fridays. And if you want $100 off of your first order, you can use code SLIMMING. And what I love about Join Fridays is you are able to connect with others there. They have dietitians, they have mental health professionals, they have movement classes, they have support groups. You're able to message with your provider and get the kind of information, reassurance, and directives that you can't really get with other companies. I used 2 other companies before switching to Fridays, and sometimes I wasn't able to get a hold of them. I would message them, ask questions, and it was like into a void, into a black hole. So the kind of support that I receive with Just Fridays, I really love and would recommend to other people. And with that $100 discount with using code SLIMMING, it's pretty affordable. So I will be posting again. Please post your comments below, and thanks for joining me.